Prostitution in the Roman Empire, a look at everyday life. Prostitution was an activity that existed in virtually all ancient civilizations, and in the Roman Empire, this reality was both a reflection of its cultural values and a functional piece of its social structure. In this video, we will explore how prostitution was regulated, who participated in this practice, and how it was perceived in ancient times. Join us on this fascinating journey through the streets and customs of ancient Rome to better understand an intriguing and complex aspect of its society. Sweet souls lost in the night. I am Lysiska, and I wonder if you have already felt the irresistible desire to stay here with me. If my stories have captivated you and my voice has whispered secrets from ancient times, I invite you to follow this channel and activate the bell. This way, you will not miss any of our meetings. But if you really want to win my heart and be part of this eternal journey, you can leave your offering on PayPal or Patreon. You will find the links in the description. After all, generous souls are always rewarded. Roman society was deeply divided by social class, from slaves to free citizens to members of the elite. This hierarchical system influenced every aspect of life, including who could access certain services and perform certain occupations. Prostitution was present in all of these layers, although with great differences in the experiences of its participants. From slaves forced into the profession to courtesans serving the elite, the diversity within Roman prostitution was enormous. In ancient Rome, prostitution was not only legal, but regulated by the state. Brothels, known as lupenaria, operated openly in cities under specific legal measures. However, this legality did not protect these people from significant social marginalization. Most prostitutes in Rome came from humble beginnings. Many were slaves sold by their masters or free women from lower classes who turned to the sex trade as a means of subsistence. There were also men and transgender people who worked in this profession, although their lives were even less documented and understood than those of women in the profession. Prostitution in ancient Rome encompassed a variety of roles and categories. In addition to brothel workers, there were ambulatorii, prostitutes who sought clients on the street, and delicati, high-class prostitutes or courtesans. However, the contrast was stark. While some might have had comfort, others lived and worked in extremely harsh conditions. Lupenaria, or brothels, were ubiquitous in Roman cities. Pompeii, an extraordinarily well-preserved city, provides us with detailed evidence of these establishments. Brothels were often decorated with explicit frescoes advertising the services available. In addition to brothels, prostitutes operated in taverns, public baths, and on busy streets. The Roman attitude toward prostitution was paradoxical. On the one hand, this profession was functional in society, offering a controlled outlet for sexual impulses. On the other hand, it was perceived as a degrading occupation. This double standard is reflected in historical texts, where the sexual virtue of upper-class women was extolled while prostitution was tolerated but morally condemned. Prostitution offers a fascinating window into the gender structure in ancient Rome. It was deeply rooted in roles of power and domination, highlighting inequalities between free men and enslaved women. The availability of men and transgender people in prostitution shows that clients sought out different kinds of power dynamics, even within such a rigidly controlled society. Interestingly, prostitution was sometimes linked to religious rituals. In certain cases, prostitutes were said to engage in sacred prostitution practices, a tradition believed to have influenced certain ceremonies. However, the extent and reality of these practices are controversial among historians. During festivals such as Saturnalia, when traditional social rules were temporarily relaxed, the services of prostitutes became even more integrated into the festive atmosphere. These celebrations, which included banquets and parties, often erased social barriers momentarily, providing opportunities for both sex workers and those seeking their services. Prostitution was also an economic driver in Rome. Rates varied widely depending on the class of worker, location, and clients. Of course, much of the profits from brothels went to the owners, underscoring the hierarchical control of this industry. Prostitution, though legal, did not exempt workers from prejudice and violence. Many prostitutes faced social discrimination and were viewed as fallen women or tools without agency. Slaves especially suffered multiple levels of abuse, as they were completely at the mercy of those who owned them. Despite the challenges, some prostitutes managed to escape extreme poverty or even rise in society. Some accumulated enough money to buy their freedom, while others managed to establish connections with wealthy or influential clients that allowed them to improve their situation. The clientele of prostitutes spanned all social classes, from commoners to elite men. The practice was common enough that even well-known historical figures were linked to prostitution in rumor or satire. This generalization highlights the tacit acceptance of this trade in everyday life. Art and literature provide us with a unique insight into Roman attitudes towards prostitution. Poets such as Martial and Ovid mention prostitutes in their works, while the walls of brothels found in Pompeii are filled with inscriptions and graffiti documenting the experiences of their occupants and clients. Pompeii is a goldmine for historians studying Roman prostitution. Excavated brothels display explicit frescoes that served as a kind of menu of services. These findings allow us to better understand the conditions and dynamics of prostitution in a city of the empire. The comparison with contemporary prostitution offers fascinating insights. Although there are significant differences in terms of laws, rights, and technologies, the social dynamics of stigmatization and power remain relevant. These similarities invite reflection on how, after thousands of years, a conflict between morality, economics, and individual rights persists. The study of prostitution in the Roman Empire is a reminder of the complexity of human cultures in any era. While it may be uncomfortable or taboo to discuss, looking at these issues head-on helps us better understand the contradictions, struggles, and resilience in the human experience. Thank you for joining us on this journey into a unique and often overlooked aspect of Roman history. By studying how the Roman Empire handled and viewed prostitution, we not only learn about the past, but it also gives us a new perspective on modern debates that our society still faces. Don't forget to subscribe for more cultural and historical explorations.